Hello, Miguel. Welcome. Still in a bit of setup. I have PS3 and Wii version set up, but we're not going to go through them like we did Persona. We doing like my plan was just like one cutscene out of them, because there's not too much to gain, especially from the opening hour. It's not as we could surmise what we need to see pretty quickly. Yeah, let me tweet this out. I really like this opening. I can dig it. Hope local co-op works.
Oh, I'm here. Are we live?
Oh, hello, Colin. Yeah, we are.
Hi.
Welcome.
I have no excuse on why I was late 2 minutes. I needed to use the bathroom.
Oh, well, okay, that reminds me, because Rita wanted to go outside, so I'm going to go bring her in. But yeah, we're live.
Okay, I'll stare at people quietly.
Yeah, you can pull the chat up and get them separately. Alright, I'll be back in a minute.
Alright. What are you eating, chat? Enjoying some dinner? Or some lunch? That emoji I typed, that's what I'm doing to all you right now. I'm just staring. First impressions are very important. Hello.
Good job, Rita.
Oh, I wish I could eat a gyro.
Alright, sorry about that. Okay.
That's good. I just scared people.
But yeah, this I brought up start with the PS3 because I hadn't even opened game on Steam yet. Yeah. And let me do a tweet.
One thing I'd like you to look out for, because you're a pretty analytical guy, if like battles really are like a stable 60, because I played a little bit of the PS3 version before I started the remaster,
right?
And I saw some dips, but like I don't think they're anything like massive.
Yeah, I was reading. I did read up a little bit. Yeah, it was it wasn't consistent 60 anywhere, but it was for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which comes up relevant because the Switch version is lock 30.
I think the Wii version is also like aiming at 60, at least in battles.
Yeah, it's 60.
Which is like, ooh. Yeah. I haven't touched the Switch version yet. I was supposed to, and then they said wait till launch. But yeah, I imagine that's just gonna feel wrong and weird.
Right. The Well, I had gotten my Tales like timeline messed up, but yeah, Vesperia on Switch is 60. It's not a perfect 60 though. It dips in the same way as like Grace's on PS3, if not a little more.
I think at one point they also just like unlocked the frame rate, just in general on Switch, because there's definitely like really closed off, simple dungeons that run at 60. But like it's not like it's not a perfect 60.
Yeah, I noticed that mostly in towns. It was more apparent. But yeah, that's going back a couple years when I played it. Not good at multitasking anymore. There we go. Make sure I get the right add-on. I don't remember your Twitter at.
Oh, I'm privated, so don't even worry about it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just say there's a man in my room and he's staring at me. That'll work. I think I was working until like 5:30, and then I had to rush and exercise, so I'm like a bit winded, but like, you know, I got a big old glass of water here.
Right, I was making dinner and then rushing up and waiting for the key for the game. But we're good to go. So I was hopeful to bring you on because you've gone into it, right?
I'm about 15, 16 hours into the remaster.
Okay. So, I mean, so when I've been doing these streams lately, I've ended up just referencing some things you've written, or RPG site. I've ended up just like referencing either or. So I was like, you could just be on, because these streams make for a good like Q&A. For anyone in chat that has questions, because the first thing that was brought up with Flutter Dark, hopeful for local co-op, or at least Parsec co-op. I don't know what co-op is in Graces.
So that is something I haven't been able to check because I've been playing on PC. And it's not like I could really go ask other people. It's like, hey, are you risking like breaking some embargo to like, you know,
right,
Parsec or something? But I thought there was co-op in this. Have they just been like quiet about that?
I don't remember. I haven't seen anything. So I was trying to keep my eye on a lot of other things at the same time. But this was okay. Let me see Switch version, Steam version.
I'll check the Switch version. I like the eShop page.
Oh yeah, or Steam page.
I check the Steam page, but that's all. Like, I find that difficult to parse, so I just don't even.
Right.
Like, I tried and gave up. Number of players, single system 1 to 4.
Okay. Fade that out and go to a remaster.
I was honestly a bit surprised when I found out that a lot of people actually really enjoy the co-op in these games.
I was gonna say, because it was a pretty requested thing for Arise and let people down when it didn't have it.
Yeah, and I was surprised at that, like, mostly because I know that if I were like players 2 through 4, I'd get really impatient while player 1 like runs around and plays the RPG.
Well, I mean,
but like, I guess I get it, the combat systems are fun.
People did used to do that just with like Final Fantasy VI and stuff. Well, I got it cleaned up intro, but I got to turn the damn thing down. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't hear myself think, but I gotta scroll. Thank God. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, they're also saying music is too loud.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to skip through because I couldn't turn it down in game. And also, there is no. I don't have the options right now. I gotta turn it down in Windows. There.
Do you
okay.
what
now that I
like
can
stream?
hear my voice? Yeah. What's up?
Do you use like OBS or something?
Yeah, OBS.
Could you just lower the volume on the like? I don't know how you like route your audio in.
Oh, I'm
typically...
hearing it at the same volume chat hears it, so I could hear how loud it was.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't hear myself think either.
What I do is I just turn the system down to like a random amount, and then I just pray. Just hope it's good enough.
I get too like picky with it, especially just over the years in watching some people stream, and I think I'm just more sensitive to it than others, I guess.
Oh yeah, no fair.
Auto advance, good, all the same. About all the same. Actually, I don't think it was dual audio on PS3.
And it's very easy to like just miss the graphic settings.
And
also, there aren't really that many of them.
Well, that should be fair for what is still like a Wii game.
Yeah.
As long as it's still running. And I did see that. I was reading about the Steam Deck version. The only real note I saw is the performance and everything is fine, but the 16:10 support isn't correct.
Yes. It just crops it.
Oh, it crops it? I thought it would stretch it.
From my experience, because I switched it really fast, on the opening, you could tell because the logo, I think, like, there were parts of the logo on the intro movie, I think, that were, like, cut off that I noticed. Just, like, things like that.
Yeah.
But you can very easily fix that by going into your, like, the properties of the app itself. And then just forcing, like, internal and external 720p. Because
yeah.
What it'll do is it'll take whatever aspect ratio I think you have, and then kind of have multiples of that. Might need to confirm that one. But I could not, like, at 800p, I could not bump it down to 720p.
Yeah, but that's the only real no with it. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine on Steam Deck.
I think it was a bit, like, I didn't try too much, but for those with an OLED, I couldn't get it to do a stable 90, but I could, like, it's basically a perfect 60.
I forgot the Steam Deck was higher hertz on the OLED.
That's like the best device I own. That thing's crazy good.
So this is another thing. In this version, it just starts on the grade shop. In other Tales games, usually this is New Game Plus, but it is just available right out the gate.
Which is very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And very tempting.
So for, at least if anyone doesn't know, the grade shop is a New Game Plus thing. It's just here because it can be. I mean, if you are replaying it from the other versions, it would be appreciated because it's not. It would be New Game Plus for you. Anyone that's playing for the first time, just ignore this.
Or don't.
Or don't.
I would definitely say ignore it if you like really dig your RPG battle systems and you want to get like a really fun experience, because this
oh yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was just because this battle system is kind of top of the line for the series.
That's what I've heard, is that this is for the series the peak of its combat.
From what I've played of the series, which is, I'm not like a super big Tales fan.
Right.
I have some blind spots, but yeah, going from Vesperia to this is night and day.
Yeah, I enjoyed Vesperia, but it is the same feeling of night and day.
Yeah, it's
I was gonna ask about in the grade shop because I looked at some of them earlier. Like, would max field movement speed matter, or expanded inventory? Are these important things to leave alone? Because it's just interesting that they offer them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could do inventory. I didn't do any of them. You already get a dash button for maximum speed.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I think it's a really good dash. It's not too fast, but it's, you can clearly tell you're like picking up the pace.
Yeah. Otherwise, your inventory's fine for what these games are. Yeah.
The only issues I've found with that is, like, I don't use items much, so I've come across a lot of chests, and it does that normal
that's
Tails
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you already have the max of this, so do you want to throw this item out or leave it in the box?
Right.
And it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Also, yeah, Flutter, like we were just saying, in this version, in the remaster, it presents you the grade shop on your first playthrough. It's not a New Game Plus exclusive thing anymore. So when you start this up on your own, you're gonna see this. And yeah, if it's your first time playing, you just ignore it. And let's actually get into it, because I just wanted to make a note on that.
It's a very neat new addition, and I hope they keep doing it with all these remasters, even if I won't use it.
Right. I think for new players, by the benefits it shows, it should probably be clear what it is.
Up there? Of course.
I was also like jealous going from like Symphonia and Vesperia to how this one looks, because I'd forgotten this came out in 2009. And that tripped me up because Vesperia was earlier, but it was on Xbox 360. This is a Wii game. I wouldn't have expected them to go from 360 and PS3 back to Wii.
And besides,
I think I read something. This was developed for 2 years, so it was being developed around the time Vesperia was. This was developed by the Destiny team, not the Symphonia team that was working on Vesperia. And honestly, it's super up to preference. I think this game kind of looks better than Vesperia, especially really cleaned up like this.
Oh yeah, the even like a bit of the animation quality is better. I do have to see Vesperia on Steam. I've only played it on Switch, but even looking at Vesperia on PS3, it feels like a glow up from Vesperia. Or playing Graces on PS3 feels like a glow up from Vesperia.
They did some magic with this thing, because you look at Wii footage of this, and it's like, oh no, they basically got it like kind of first go. Yeah, like it's just a good looking game.
Even this movement, I from what I remember of Vesperia, even just the simple movement feels a little better.
I'm gonna boot up my game while we go through this, because I need to feel this combat again. I will say as well, something that you might want to look into as you play through, if you want to go over to graphics.
Oh, I was just going to do that, yeah.
You can play the game at 120 FPS. It feels great. I have not noticed any funniness with it.
Nice. Yeah, I will boot it up there. My monitor's at 75, but it'll still be fine.
One thing to look out for, because I played like the first 7 hours only on 120 FPS. I wasn't sure if some of the mouth animations and cutscenes were maybe a bit, I don't know if I'd say weird, but you know how sometimes when you bump the frame rate up higher than a game was probably intended? There's some stuff with animations.
If there's anything, yeah. Sometimes that slips by.
But it wasn't anything egregious. There was just spots where I was like, is this because this is like a Wii game, or is this the frame rate?
Was it going too fast?
In a one or two cutscenes, I feel like I noticed that.
It's with animation, it'll either be that, or it's the animation is baked at a frame rate and it's not interpolated. I remember that with GTA 5 is a good example. There are very few animations in GTA 5 cutscenes where when you play them on PC, the characters are moving at 30 FPS, main characters. So it sticks out, but it's only 3-4 animations. Not a lot. But it's either that or it's that they're sped up.
I don't think it's anything egregious at all.
Yeah.
I think this port in general is just really good. I watched the Good Vibes Gaming video, and apparently they mentioned something where there were puzzles in the original game that had to do with I think color in various ways. I'm not sure the specifics that they removed for colorblind accessibility, which is something definitely worth confirming.
Right.
Here, give me some of that. I want to try it. Hey.
Yeah, that's been something recently to consider. Yeah.
I've only played little bits of this back in the day, so this is basically my first playthrough. So I'm not a super big expert, but yeah, so far this has been just a treat.
Right. No, yeah, I was I thought I know I've heard so many things about Graces, so I knew it was excuse me, going with its own thing, I thought it would still built off of Vesperia. This really isn't building off of Vesperia. This is full 3D.
Yeah.
This is all directions around from the get-go, which is really, really nice.
And also, it's just like the combat system moving away from that, I don't know if it's called the TP bar or the AP bar, I forget, but like whatever bar is tied to your arts, this game does not do that, and it's much better for it. This game uses the like Destiny style CC like points, and the cooldown on those is really fast, so you're always kind of in action.
Yeah, this is tell right from the get-go, it is like a solid foundation, and it is especially coming from Symphonia and Vesperia. This is very promising. I enjoyed Vesperia's combat, but enjoying Vesperia's combat requires getting a hold of the manual cancels, which is, they do technically tell you about them in the game. They're just hidden in like 3 tutorial like menus, how to do manual cancels. That makes it a lot more fun, but at the same time, there are cases where bosses are immune or become immune to combos, but still though in that case also, there was no reason not to play Yuri or a few other characters who could do the manual cancels.
I'm gonna make a hot take. I think the manual cancel system's kind of dumb, especially just because of how it looks.
Yeah,
I think I've posted this on like social media. Like if your characters have to wave dash to do like what feels like basic combos in like any other game, it's just it. I don't think it's bad, but it really like bums me out as I get into the flow.
Yeah, because it is a part of the game not feeling that's as fluid as it's gonna feel is by doing that. So it depends on having to do that.
I will say as well, when you get back to town, first thing you should do is go to the item shop, because I think it's for like 500 gold. I forget what the currency is in this one.
Yeah.
Gold. You can buy like the manual playstyle.
Oh, okay.
Just immediately, and it will help the game feel a lot better.
Well, you know it's dangerous to sleep out
Honestly,
here.
no, not even like a lot. I think this game is a pretty good semi-auto, but if you really want to get into like a lot of the sicko stuff with this game, then yeah, definitely play on manual. I tried manual in Vesperia, and I was like, it doesn't feel that much different, and if anything, it feels like worse. Like that was on a casual playthrough, of course. But for this, it's just like, oh, cool. I watched the whole video on it, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do in manual mode, and the game feels good as is. So I'm like, okay, cool. That means that I, as a player, want more control of what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm already having fun on semi-auto.
Right.
It means
I'm gonna hold back from
like a
Vesperia hate.
Feels like a heightened skill ceiling. How's the port? I started it up. In rare cases when I do these streams, I started it up and it's just working. Frame pacing is zero frame pacing issues. Everything's good.
Stay away from the cliff. Understand?
Rare Bandai PC port W.
That also just makes me upset because of how Vesperia, especially Symphonia, were treated. They were very lucky that Graces is new enough to like have this benefit. The game is out, digitally, as of 36 minutes ago.
I should introduce myself first.
I'm not sure if it's on console digitally yet, but I know it is on Steam.
This is my little brother, Hubert. Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. So,
yeah, Bandai Namco does
name.
Same time for Steam. If you're on like Switch, it might be a little later. It is on consoles. Cool.
Sick.
My name.
Yeah, the cutscene when they go into town. That's what I'm gonna pull up on the other versions and take a look at.
Well then, I know. How about this?
I'll talk about that more when we get there. But otherwise, visually, this is actually exactly what I wanted, and I can explain why when we look at the other versions. It just, everything about this just makes me wish the others got this treatment.
If this is anything to go by, the Tales of Remastered project seems like it will be a success.
Hopefully.
I wonder if
I feel I'm cautious because I feel like at that point it's just because Vesperia isn't as egregious as Symphonia's, and it feels like it goes by how later they released it. Because Symphonia, that has to be missing source code. Like anything from GameCube. Like if they could go back to 60 FPS, they probably would have by now. But yeah,
you know, Hubert,
I don't know. I wish they would just do Symphonia again, get it right. I wish, but even outside of being a remaster, I just also wish Symphonia and Vesperia looked and ran like this.
What can we do? We can't just leave her here.
One thing
Or felt like this too.
Maybe she would
I do think that like I've gotten used to Symphonia in 30. It's not ideal, obviously, but like it seems they've at least like they kind of modified some timings a bit, so it's not the worst. I'm hoping that this feels like good at 30. If it feels great at 120, then I can only hope that they've like Tosei is smart enough to be able to get this game running at a good 30. I wish it wasn't the case. The thing that really is like on my mind is, will Bandai bother like when Switch 2 drops, are they gonna unlock it, or are they just leaving it as is?
Right. It would be I mean, there's a case where some Switch games in the Switch in general auto locks to 30. So there may be some games that just automatically go up. Well, we'll see. I really hope they do.
I imagine anything that's unlocked will just be great on Switch 2 day one, because that's just a hardware thing. Like Vesperia, when Switch 2 comes out, I am pretty sure you're going to be able to play that at like a locked 60 FPS.
Yeah, exactly. And that one will be a better, because they also Switch games also switch resolution automatically, so they will also maintain their highest resolution setting.
Oh, interesting. I assume they just kind of put a target res and then just tried to hit it, but...
No, yeah, because if you... Through homebrew means, if you tell your Switch that it is undocked, that doesn't switch it, because it's still going by the clocks, whatever the CPU and GPU are clocked at. Oops. Also, something for the other versions is they swap into battle just as fast. It is just that immediate, and it's crazy. Like, it is really cool how immediate it goes into battle. That's not even like a remaster thing. That's just how the game always is.
I wasn't scared.
This game's good. This game's so good.
Yeah, I could feel it. Let me Oh, that marker's new. They don't. That marker in the bottom left, that was not there before.
Was there a skit by the water?
Yeah, we saw it on the way in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So interesting thing about the marker. One bit of a nitpick I have here. They also mark like timed events, but the timed events are not a separate toggle on the menu. They are just tied to that event marker. So like, let's say you want to play this for the first time and you don't want to know exactly where to go, but you do want to be aware of those like timed events. Right. It's an all or nothing kind of thing.
There is, and yeah, it doesn't work for the time events. I was gonna say, in the other versions, this L1 thing is exactly what this is. It tells you your objective and then it'll highlight the other locations like this. But yeah, the marker little direction thing in the bottom right, yeah, that's new.
I think what I just ended up doing was
there are sparkly things on the ground.
I kept markers on in really cool dungeons and I turned them off on the field. But if I went into a town, I would turn them back on. So not ideal. It's probably
like a toggle on.
Yeah, honestly, just like a toggle on the controller would be great.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being blamed whenever you lose
Favorite
something.
Tales game? I will say this one. Recency bias, but absolutely so far this one.
Right, mine would be Vesperia, but we'll see.
I'd say my second, or like what is like tied with this is Abyss. I really like Abyss.
Let's see what happens if I alt tab out. It does not mute, thank God. It doesn't even pause. So I could just oh, but that does mean I have to manually mute it now. Oh, you know what? I got this up here. There's a that's Steam, PS3. Might as well do it while I have it here. This higher res. But there is something to be said about going from Wii to PS3, so let me get the game and get this set up here. Because we're only going to compare the one cutscene. We're not going to do whole games, but this is like a 2-3 minute cutscene coming up. But it's a pretty good one to get an example of what I'm going to talk about. Excuse me. Okay. Got that. Let me swap to the Wii. I think I went back to the main menu on the Wii version. No, I was out here still.
Oh, is the Wii version 4x3?
Yeah. I mean, it probably... Oh my god, hold on, I gotta adjust these cables.
That's interesting. I assumed all Wii games were like 16:9. Despite backwards compatibility, what games do you think will get native ports to Switch to? I think ideally, none. I'm sure they're going to do it, but I think what I would really want was just like updates, kind of like how your PS4 to PS4 Pro or PS5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's a lot of them can just simply be patched, because a lot of them, like, the thing is, if you open like Pokemon Legends Arceus, that game in an emulator, that game looks great already. Like, it would be a quote-unquote remaster just simply by being on upgraded hardware. The one thing so there is the only real difference visually between Wii and PS3 is the render resolution. The render resolution. All the textures are the same resolution.
Wow.
I'm not going back to the PS3 main menu, but you know, they both blend in on this on the background really well. You can kind of see artifacting with them on PS3. Oh damn it, it took too long. But like they stand out. You can't even tell on the Wii here that they're rendered separately from the background. It's really hard to tell. Anyway, so we'll go back to Wii. I don't know why the date's in 2018.
Honestly, yeah,
I wouldn't go too much off of the color because I had to tweak this with on the retro tank, and I don't know if I did an accurate job of the retweak it anyway. But yeah, we're gonna be watching just for the visual sake.
I'm always worried to mess with like color settings in my retro tank.
Right. Like, I mean, right now I got these HD Retrovision component cables in 2023, and they're starting to go on me, and that's really annoying. Like if I do anything in the room, like if I stand up or like step, sometimes the signal goes out. Just the slightest little jerk and it changes. That's why when I swapped to the Wii, it was a little darker than it should be, and then the signal just started going. So annoying. Those are expensive. Those are $30 cables. They're $35 now. It's annoying to have that.
I think I have Retrovision cables for like I guess 2. It sounds familiar. I honestly, ever since I started getting really into you know, like upscaling old games, I've just not touched Wii or GameCube, especially not GameCube, because component cables for that are like a nightmare to get apparently.
Yeah, because they there is a digital out on the GameCube. It supported digital output, but it is the first party ones are if not hundreds of dollars. There is it's called the Carby. It is a HDMI adapter you plug into the back of a GameCube. It is extremely good. It uses the digital output. I got that for a little less than 100, and I highly recommend it. And I'll talk about. Let me cover what we're seeing here. So the game's like 480p. What I would say to focus on is like the textures of characters' clothing. Look at the ground, and There'll, especially after this cutscene, you can see on rocks, but it doesn't like. It's low resolution because it's a 480p signal, but it's not like. For 480p, it's as sharp as 480p can get.
Yeah, that's good.
Actually, I have this. I gotta swap this. XRGB there. Not that anyone will knows the difference. YouTube doesn't even support 444 color space.
It blows my mind that this was a Wii game.
Yeah.
These cutscenes look really good.
They do, yeah. It's still, especially going from Vesperia to this. It's really night and day. Even if they're using mocap now, but still, it looks really well. Really good.
I swear, they have more cutscenes like this in this game than I remember seeing in Vesperia.
Right, yeah.
Did Vesperia actually have any like this?
I feel like it didn't. I feel like Symphonia didn't either. When I think of any Vesperia cutscenes, it's either pre-rendered or it's text bubbles. No, I don't think it did. Which is crazy because this. I mean, what I read up about this game was it released in an extremely buggy state on Wii. The original Wii version was so buggy, only in Japan, where it only released in Japan. The game was so buggy, it was recalled.
Wow.
And they released a patched version later. No, yeah, there was a recall. That's how bad it was.
That's just so crazy to me, especially now where this is like considered by a lot of like hardcore Tales fans as one of the best games in the series, if not the best. And at the same time though, I feel like this is a bit underrated nowadays. Probably because like it's been stuck on PS3.
I think it is, because after I finished Vesperia, I was like, I gotta play more of these games. And Graces was not among the recommendations that people had. It was never, what are the best Tales games? I did not read anything about Graces.
I know a lot of Tales sickos, and they were like, as soon as I started being like, oh yeah, I was playing this one for review, it's really good. They're like, yeah, we know, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying like, yeah, no, it fixes all my problems with Vesperia, and they're like, yeah, we know, right? Another thing where I feel like this game doesn't kind of get enough credit is I honestly think the story is pretty good. Like the plot is basic, but the characters are really good, and the writers use the plot in fun ways to kind of build the cast up and give them really like interesting dynamics between all of them.
Yeah. With other games, especially like Vesperia, that takes a bit to get going. It takes until you hit like a major plot points. Because otherwise, like Symphonia is a good example. That's pretty almost tropey. It's deliberately tropey to mislead you. If anyone has ever started Symphonia and may have dropped it, it doesn't It doesn't stay tropey. That's kind of the appeal of it. I will leave that there because this is also just a good shot to compare. Now we'll go to PS3.
Like I'm definitely not telling anyone like this is gonna be the greatest story you'll ever play in any RPG, but it's really endearing. And I think it's got a really strong emotional core.
I wasn't as big on Arise. Arise was
I couldn't finish it.
It was, I was gonna say, Arise is in a different category than the third act of Arise. By that point, it kind of, that soured it for a little bit for me. Like, if I look back at Arise, I'll appreciate everything else besides the third act of it.
I've not finished Arise myself. I got bored. Like, I was liking it, it didn't pull me enough to, like, keep me playing. And then I heard what they did in that third act. I was like, oh.
Right.
I'm good.
Hey, Asbel!
Well, how far did you get into Vesperia?
It's Sheria.
Let's see. I am currently, I think, right before or at the beginning of the third act. You might remember this place. I'm in a dungeon where it is a bunch of floors of the same room repeated over and over and over again. These like square rooms with just enemies in it. And it was so boring, I stopped playing. This was like last month. I'm gonna go back to it because I gotta finish it and I gotta know.
Right.
But it completely pulled me out of it.
Oh, I forgot. This is PS3 now.
You can tell.
So everything's a higher resolution, but the textures, like there is now artifacting on her clothing. I mean, there was before, but you had to be really zoomed up to see it before.
Don't play dumb with me. It's the hill where the
things like that. Like the ground textures. Yeah, that's clearly like lower resolution. They didn't really upscale the textures themselves. It renders higher, but they didn't touch up the textures much, if not at all. Hair is smoother. There was artifacting in the Wii hair. But yeah, I realized I didn't even label these, but yeah, this is PS3. Before it was Wii, this is PS3.
See, what did I tell you? Here, hop on. I promise
the best thing about Vesperia was Yuri's character.
Oh yeah.
That definitely goes a long way.
It's really fun to play a game like this where your protagonist just goes, Luigi time. I think, though, that is a bit that, like... And I'm not trying to make this stream the Vesperia debate stream.
Right.
But since we are kind of, like, talking about it, and honestly, it is so, like, released a year before this one.
Yeah.
I'll use my platform as I see fit. But, like, I think the thing with me is, like, oh, Yuri is so cool. The characters around him, I don't think give him a lot to work with. And I think that's why the best moments in the game are when Yuri goes off on his own and...
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
The skit writing in this game is... And just the characters in general, it is so fun. There's also just... Another thing I think you'll appreciate over like coming off of Vesperia, at least like, because I'm sure you know that like the voice like they couldn't get all the voice actors back for Definitive Edition in
for
English.
Vesperia. Yeah. Oh god, yes, absolutely.
Because and like one of the reasons it's so obvious is that when they recorded Vesperia, they only recorded like half of the game or so. I'm pulling that number out of my ass. But it's like there was a lot unvoiced that they ended up voicing in Japanese like a year or two later when they made the PS3 version.
Yep.
There's a problem then when between the PS3 version and your remaster is like a 6-7 year gap and you can't get everyone back.
Yeah.
In this one, basically like the whole game is voiced from the get-go.
Yep. I was gonna say, it's the thing that bothers me, like, another thing that's like upsetting that's missing from the other games but is here is, number one, the skits are voiced. Number two, they're dubbed. Number three, they're the same actors. Because there's no later re-recordings.
So there's like, I think 8 or 9 not new, but like PS3 exclusive DLC skits that they brought over and dubbed in this game. And the only person who could not come back was Laura Bailey, but they got Ashley Tipton to voice her. And I don't know if you know voice actors, like English voice actors.
I know Laura.
So Ashley has kind of been the replacement for Laura in games where Laura got too big.
Yeah.
Ashley Tipton is Lucina, for example. Any Lucina after Awakening is Ashley Tipton, and it's really hard to tell.
Oh, I thought it was still Laura.
And so she's back in this one.
That's the same thing in Vesperia. Well, what should be in Vesperia? Anytime Troy Baker doesn't come back, it would be Matt Mercer.
I kind of wish it was Matt Mercer.
Well, he deliberately turned it down.
And they got like another actor who I actually like a lot, Grant George.
Yeah.
He's I don't want to say known for, but one of the things he's I guess more popular for is Shinji in Persona 3. And he's a really good actor, but
he sounds nothing like him.
he sounds nothing like Troy Baker, and it would have made people mad. But honestly, if they should have just had Grant George record all the lines. Like, it would have sucked a lot, but you don't have this thing where literally every 5 minutes, probably even less, sometimes it changes in the scene. You just have like, Yuri is just a different guy.
Absolutely, yeah. It should have been fully re-recorded.
And everyone, at the time, I remember everyone was like, wow, yeah, Troy was too big. Troy wouldn't do it. And then not only did Troy go on record and say, like, I would have done it if they asked me.
Right.
He then came back for Catherine. Like, Catherine,
oh, damn it. Yeah.
Fully, what is that remake? Full Body.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just like, oh, Bandai. But for this one, yeah, they got everyone back. I think the only time they had to record new stuff was from these new skits. And, you know, everyone sounds good.
Right. But yeah, so we saw the cutscenes. That was enough to illustrate my point, and still here, like that. I can't. When I look at the window in OBS, it's too small to be able to tell this. It looks fine here, especially the rocks stand out a lot more. The rocks look fine on Wii, and when we see them, how they upscaled them on PS3, that just looks wrong. There's all sorts of. Like, those line streaks on the rocks are not there on Wii. Otherwise, it's a bit of color banding, artifacting. Anyway, that's all I wanted to see in the other versions. Now we can enjoy things in the remaster. So let me pull that back up and unmute it. No more time on the other versions. That's enough to illustrate the point there. So
Are we on PC now?
yeah, well, okay, yeah, it's still 60 for everyone else, but man, yeah, 75 feels good. So that's what I was hoping to get here in this remaster, is a good compromise of the textures are actually upscaled this time.
And they look good. It's not like crappily AI upscaled like Symphonia.
Right. No, that artifacting on her clothing's gone. Yeah, they did a good job.
She's really mad.
Again, very jealous. We didn't lose any lighting like we did in Symphonia.
I'm not
God.
gonna let you run off without me again.
But yeah, also, yeah, that's all on visuals. I read a number of things about how the Wii version was.
Hey,
There's a lot there, but for as long as we're looking at visuals, that's what stands out there.
you know, you shouldn't be running like that.
I was playing through this game, like this remaster, and I was like, okay, but like, what's the catch? What's the moment?
It's Bandai Namco, there usually is.
What's the Bamco moment? I'm ready.
Like,
and there just hasn't been.
There's been like a poor expectation. Because like even with Baten Kaitos was still a letdown in some ways that it was handled.
I'm sorry. But look, if I
Honestly, the catch is probably just Switch version 30 FPS.
Right.
But for
There's
everyone else,
also,
yeah, very remaster.
There is all the DLC except licensed costumes.
Yeah, no Code Geass costume.
Yeah, no Miku.
That's just because he's so terrible at it.
Which, if you're playing on PC, give it a week.
Yeah.
See, what did I
Because to my
tell
understanding,
you?
that's how Vesperia
Here,
is. It's just modded
Papa.
in.
I promise I'll try to be more careful this time. That's all right. I can walk on my own.
I actually like Chrono Cross's upscaled backgrounds.
I do too.
Like it kind of works for the style of that.
What girl?
I think they handled it fine there. I would rather that over how they did FF7, FF8, and FF9.
See, the thing with FF9,
They did a
that
really
always-
good job on Saga Frontier. Those are some of my favorite upscale jobs.
Oh yeah. Also,
And Legend of Mana.
that's
That
what I
one's
was
not
thinking.
even
Yeah,
fair. Like,
that's
that-
like
that's so good. It's not even fair because in some cases that just looks repainted.
that's mind-blowingly good. It's one of the best remaster jobs of a PS1 sprite game I've ever seen.
Right.
But speaking of FF8, I'm so bummed because like I think there's so much of that FF8 remaster I can like tolerate. That 8-directional movement kills me. It bothers me so much how no one thought to just like, should we just try to make this work with full 360? No? All right.
Come on,
Yeah,
Sharia.
absolutely.
Don't stare at her like that. You two should
Yeah,
try to be friends.
I was going, when I've talked with friends about how they should handle any other Tales games, I feel nervous in letting them try anything too ambitious. Like anything like PS1 or older could be emulated. I feel like.
A really good port collection would be nice.
Just say it.
I recall as a good example, I think, Koei Tecmo, when they remade Atelier Marie, just bundled with it, although it might have been like a premium edition bundle, but like with it included was a localized port of the PS1 game. And it's just like, it's just the game, but they added English, and it's just emulated. And it's like, yeah, honestly, just do that. Get M2 to do it.
Yeah. Yep, exactly, yeah. I think that would be the safest approach, and probably a cheapest one. I mean, that might end up what they do, because I doubt if they didn't have anything for Symphonia, they have no source code for anything older than that either. So.
What I'm really curious about is Abyss, because I think the most recent code for that game is the 3DS version. And honestly, that's a really good version of the game. It's at 30 FPS, but it's like, that is the game on 3DS. It's way better than it has any right being.
Really nice of you.
But then
that feels like Dragon Quest VIII
oh,
in the same boat.
So, what's your name?
Square Enix, please just do it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Earlier, but she
I
doesn't know.
I don't. See, Dragon Quest VIII is an even more complicated issue because Abyss is just the game as it was on PS2, now on 3DS.
Yeah.
They I don't want to say fix. They added so much quality of life.
Yeah, to 8.
To 8, and they added new content. They added like whole new systems. It's as a video game, I think the 3DS version is a much better game, but I don't fault anyone for preferring the PS2 version. So now, as Square Enix, I'm sure they're looking at both, and I'm sure they only have the assets for the 3DS version and going, well, what do we do?
Right.
Oh, good idea.
Yep.
And I would tell them, I would say, you guys have all of these assets on a, like, because you know there's a mobile version of Dragon Quest VIII, right?
Ooh, those rocks. Yeah.
It's a really jank port, but it has all of the PS2 assets. But just with none of the voice acting. So it's like just do some magic. Extract those assets and just somehow fit in all the 3DS content.
What was I gonna say? The Klonoa ports, when I remember them, I'm fine with them, but then I remember some of the like the physics stuff, I remember being a bother. Yeah, Klonoa has some catches too. Generally, I would still like, I enjoyed the remaster of Klonoa 1 and 2, but yeah, some things stick out. But also Klonoa, there's a different story when it's not a JRPG, because those Klonoa games you could just play on one version and then play another. Like, you could play both versions of Klonoa 1 in the time it would take to play 2. You know, those games aren't long-term time commitments like JRPGs can be.
I need to give 2 another shot.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I for sure enjoyed it. It was inoffensive, and it's a shame to not have more like it. Let me answer this question. We haven't asked before in the past. Where both your opinions and chats. How much time should pass before a game is remastered? Before a remaster, I guess it would really depend on what the next generation hardware offers.
Yeah,
but that's
I feel like
generations between them, so like that would arbitrarily like 6 years minimum.
In my opinion, I feel like it would really only count for games before PS4.
Yeah.
Sony disagrees, but you really do not need to remaster PS4 games, because I think that's when the whole industry kind of got their code together and did a lot
everything
better
is so
preserving their assets.
Yeah, everything development-wise is so homogenized now.
Really don't
So
remember your name? No.
no more cell processor shit.
Poor thing.
The 360 got by how it was through brute forcing
More about your name.
hardware.
That whole generation is just fascinating. I remember at the time a lot of people hated like playing games on those systems, but I've really grown nostalgic for it. You see some weird looking games from that era, and we're only now just getting some of them on like modern systems.
Where was the shop? Here it is. That's equipment items. Excuse me.
Okay, yeah, it's 500. You might have stuff to sell though. Although, like you'll be around the area pretty often.
Yeah. I shall be back for it.
That is one thing where you might be able to tell that this is a Wii game compared to like
back for it. Yeah.
360. Where I think in the first like 10 or so hours, you kind of go in this first continent around a lot. It never feels like you're backtracking too much, but you can definitely feel it a little bit, how they're trying to use as much of the space as they can.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, Master Asbel. Master Hubert.
Hey, Frederick.
You ran off on me again, Sharia?
I'm sorry, Grandpa.
Please.
No, I know not all remasters the same. I just feel like that's like wasted effort.
I've instructed her.
Yeah,
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Because it also depends on definition of remaster and how much you're charging for
Don't
it.
worry about it. It's no bother at all. Anyway,
It's hard to like. Crisis Core is a remake, but they still say remaster.
This young woman?
I think another one. Let's see.
No,
I know, like for that Metroid Prime one, I feel like that's more of a remake, but they call it a remaster. So
right.
Don't say. That's quite the dilemma.
I get it, but yeah, it's even if it's like so much of the same code, that's definitely where it becomes like a gray area.
Come on, guys, let's head
It's yeah, with like 6 years, that has to. The definition of there can change because that 6 years would still constitute a like a PS2 game going to PS3, and there were plenty of PS2 to PS3 remasters. But yeah, it does get to a point where like PS3 to PS4 felt pretty necessary. PS4, PS5, come on now.
It's always like I like playing them. Like it's right up in chat. I like Spider-Man PS5 is really fun to play.
Right.
All of those bumps
I can't get over the face.
The face is it's pretty not great. I had to get over it because that's just the face now. I wasn't happy with it, but you know. But also I just feel like in some ways it's just kind of a way to get you to buy the game again when it's just it would be preferential just make it a patch. Like in like the gyro stuff, like all those things, those are all great. And if they can't always do it, I'm understanding no matter what. But sometimes I'm like, did we need to do this?
What?
Right.
You can't reach him either. Shut up.
You kids want some apples?
Like with Horizon, I'm sure the remaster is really fun to play, and there are some really good improvements there. But again, it's just like, why? What are we doing here?
Right.
Here, you have one too.
Or another one, that Until Dawn remaster.
Now, boys, I heard you've been wandering around Lont Hill on your
It feels, it's not even about time with like
Where'd you hear that?
Luigi's Mansion on 3DS and then Luigi's Mansion on Switch.
You'll learn a whole lot, and you
Just
might even have
weird
some fun,
how they
too.
handled it. But yeah, it's not always a net gain. And that's what is worth looking at.
Oh wow, a discovery.
Here, I mean, right away I pointed out the rocks, and this remaster is using how the rocks looked in PS3. So that's not even a criticism. That's just an idea of where, when I'm playing these games, where I'm gonna look.
Something rare.
Sorry, my connection's going out for a sec.
Yeah, I was
wait
hearing
for
it
it
a
to
little
smooth
bit,
out.
but I think it's good now.
Aha.
Have you tried the dash yet?
You're not going to record
With
the call
R2?
amnesia, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
super subtle. Honestly, I think it's the.
Let's just
Like,
record the apple tree instead.
I don't know why they would or wouldn't be able to, but like if you can't make brand new animations, that's a pretty good compromise
Right.
without having it feel like weird.
Like, if chat couldn't tell, I'm toggling it on and off. Yeah. Xbox did so good with backwards compatibility, in some cases it's not a concern.
Plenty of things to criticize Xbox about this generation, but I have to give it to them. Backwards compatibility on Xbox is so good.
Right.
If you keep going down this road,
I got a used Series S for like $150 a couple years back. That has just been an amazing 360 digital machine.
Right.
It's just, it does so good.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, that's a benefit for it. The only thing I'm looking back at original Xbox for would be games that aren't compatible with 360 and then not compatible with anything else. Like, the first Ninja Gaiden before Black, or, pretty sure. And then, definitely, it was the first Mech Assault. Like, Mech Assault 1 is compatible. 2. Mech Assault 2 is compatible, but not, Okay, they changed the attack button on me. It's still evade with the square, but they want me to use B to attack. On the other consoles, it's the bottom face button.
It's a bit weird. Because for a second I was like, wait, am I playing the Switch version? And
Right.
I got used to it though. Now I can't go back.
I will set it back before I forget, as I'm playing through all 3 versions at the same time.
Another thing like trapped on Xbox, Panzer Dragoon Orta
Oh, yeah.
runs and looks amazing on Series.
Right.
They were doing some magic with some of those like old Xbox games. They up-res so gorgeously.
Why is it doing this? Is my fight stick pressing buttons? Okay, my fight stick on the floor was pressing buttons.
That's funny. I also keep my fight stick on my floor at the, like, right under my desk, just in case anyone ever wants to play Melty.
Yeah, it's got a pause buttons on the side. That's the side it was on there. That's all. That's the only difference there. FF13 was a very good one. Yeah, it's still. It's what's crazy is the original PS3 pre-rendered videos are still higher quality. However, it is as close as we'll get. But it is absurd, like, what the PS3 was capable of with pre-rendered. Like, that shit's insane. Oh, let me, hold on. You know, write down when the internet went out, because they're still trying to figure that out. Same issue we had during Fantasian stream. Still going on. And just praying that it doesn't take the whole stream out.
I already picked some. What are you gonna do with more? Maybe I want my own apple.
Did you check out all the versions of Fantasian or just like PC?
Just PC. Or did I? Yeah, just PC.
Turn them into an apple gel. Wow.
I think that's all I
I was
asked
on
for.
Switch for that,
I thought you just
and
failed.
it was okay.
I don't think they're good.
Those
the
load
thing-
times were pretty bad. Oh, sorry, you go.
I'm sorry, I was lagging too. Let me wait for it to smooth out. Bringing up Fantasian just cursed it. I'm also delayed in the call. I can hear that.
I was gonna ask. Oh, do you want me to like leave and come back?
No, it'll.
Does anything?
It's on my end. It's getting better. Okay. Where was I going? Oh, so I played Fantasian and I put it on the big like 60-inch TV. The minute I had a screen transition and it did that morph effect, I got fucking motion sickness.
Oh yeah,
That hurt.
the morph effect is genuinely, I think, really bad.
Like,
and
I
was
could get it if,
amazed
like,
to
on a
hear it wasn't
tablet.
just a Switch version.
Right, I can see if it like on a tablet, but no, seeing that on the TV right in front of me, that hurt.
I'll show you what I got.
Like even when we were doing it on stream and I was playing through the OBS window, that was fine.
I even found on Switch it was a bit disorienting. But it also doesn't help. I think that they really did not fine-tune the controls whatsoever for when it does that like shift of perspective with that morph. And so often I would just find my character just like immediately like turning back around, and then that would bring it back to the previous screen, and I would just get sick, and I'm just like, oh, there had to have been a better way.
If anyone has any familiarity with networking and know what SNR stands for, please reach out and offer help.
I can't help you there.
That's all right.
I spec'd into the wrong kind of computer science.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Oh, wants me to. Yeah, there we go.
Does this only happen when you try to stream?
No, it's happened on and off for months. Doesn't matter what we're doing, but it is usually later in the day. I feel like it has to do with outside weather. At the coaxial cable. I have lately, especially since the last stream, signal to noise ratio. That's what the technician from the ISB came out, and that's what they did was determine the signal to noise ratio was poor. So they put in a new splitter. New splitter didn't fix it. So lately I went out and bought new coaxial cable. I ran new coaxial cable through the wall to the modem. That has improved, but as we can see, it has not fixed it. I think it's got to be something right before the splitter, and the splitter is right to the cable going into the house. So I don't know. I go out there and I look how the cable is from the house, and it looks fine, but I don't know what I'm looking at either. It's so frustrating. New modem, new router, nothing fixed it. New coaxial cable through the wall, new splitter, nothing changed it.
What a pain.
Lazy, eh, kid?
Line conditioner for your modem itself.
Well, all right.
Monitor power quality. I've seen the modem like status page and its logs, and everything's fine. Nothing stands out. All the I think that's an apple. Sorry. It wants me to do tutorials. Oh, in the Wii version, it does not show you the amounts of what you have here on the screen. I remember reading about that. If you want it, when you go to do this, you have to memorize how many of the items you have from your item screen and then come back to here.
Oh.
And then they fixed it in PS3. Yeah, no, like all the values check out. There isn't, what is it, under the column for corrected and uncorrected, nothing is spiking to a concerning degree. As far as I have read, there's nothing showing red flags. But at the same time, it has to be with the coaxial.
Hey, don't treat me like a kid.
It's not any large ISP. No, it's not any of those.
You've already had like a technician look at it?
Twice, then I'm gonna have to get him out a third time now.
Oh, jeez. I feel like at that point, like, I don't know, like, what to tell them. Like, try a little harder. Like, do your job.
Right. Like, test it a little more carefully. But it's hard to say because I look at the settings. It looks fine. Nothing is coming up with a red flag. It's hard because the only time to see when the issue happens is just when it happens, and it's not predictable. It happens more often during the evening, but that's still not, like, terribly often. But it does happen a lot when streaming. And that's a frustrating
ISP,
part.
Like, follows you, and they're like, alright, flip the switch now. He's about to go live with Grace's app. I have to go get some laundry real quick. 1 second. I'll be back.
If you have any other, what is it, Arnold? If you want to reach out on anywhere else, please do. Email is on my YouTube. If you want to troubleshoot anything else or want me to try anything else. But I think at this point, I still need to get them out just to check the cables from the outside.
Holy moly! do?
But yeah, thankfully,
Woozle, wazzle,
I'm glad during the stream we've had so much, like, not as... We haven't been as focused on the game, but the remaster's doing its job. This is a great remaster. This is a great port job.
Now spin. Spin around.
And yeah, we talked about
and
Steam Deck
then
and
stop.
Switch versions at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, more people are home more in the evening, but it does happen when other people aren't here, because some people in my family work at night,
Wow. Thanks
or
for
work
the
in the
great
evening.
show, kids.
So it has still
Your
been in
friend
the
here
evening,
must
even
be
if
an
I'm the only
acrobat
one
from the
home.
circus. Or maybe an assassin.
And I
man
feel
of the
like if
town
there's a...
trained by a secret
If anyone
organization.
else, like, there's one other house, I
Either
think,
way,
like,
it was
on
pretty
the...
impressive.
in the same, like...
I hope you were
poll.
paying attention, Puffy. Our act
I
is
feel
gonna
like if
need
they had a
some
problem, they would have
serious
complained
work.
about it by now,
Let's get
too.
going.
I'm gonna try to ask them the next time I see them, but ask my neighbor if they're having a similar
done?
issue.
So she's
I
either
am
from
back.
a circus or an assassin.
Where's the Tales in the Sky FC remaster?
That got announced.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a full remake. That's
I was
coming
gonna-
out this year.
I was gonna say that wasn't even a. It was a teaser in the North
Direct.
American direct. In the Japanese direct, it was a full ass trailer.
We'll find anything else.
And now we have a full ass English trailer.
Yeah,
It is getting published by Gung Ho Entertainment.
that's right. Yeah.
So if you go on their YouTube account, you can just watch the English trailer.
You could try giving me commands
But yeah,
too.
that's interesting how they'll handle it.
No, I'm good. Let's just go.
That's funny. I'm
Seriously,
playing
it's okay.
Daybreak in the background of the
Let's
stream
try
right
it.
now.
You can give me any command you want. Oh, fine. Abracadabra.
Next,
Be quiet for a
we're
while.
still gonna be going here, but yeah, next week we'll do a 7 Rebirth stream.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
What are you
that's
two
soon.
doing?
I'm trying
Yep.
hard to not
Come
rebuy
on,
that
Hubert.
because I
Let's
didn't
go.
finish Rebirth,
Hey,
but I got far
wait
enough
up.
where I don't want to restart.
Yeah, I did almost everything. I was 100 something hours in. I didn't do everything post game, and I don't know if I'm going to, but I do just want to play it again and see it. I'm
I might.
hoping it runs well.
They put out a video today on how the PC part looks. It looks really good, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean,
It-
it's really granular, but there are some cases where you have to be so, like, you have to look at it so carefully to see, in some cases where Remake looked better, but still, Remake got to be a set location and Rebirth is an open world game.
Yeah, it makes sense
So.
why there's a bit of a discrepancy there, but from what they've shown, they're and I don't mean this in a bad way. They're probably desperate enough for sales that is going to be one of the more optimized games you'll
I hope
probably
so.
play on PC this year.
Like,
I can
the
only
specs
hope.
are almost unbelievable.
Yeah,
Like for in an open world game, that's got to have insane CPU demand. So we'll see how that goes.
but Steam Deck Verified has me hopeful.
Yeah,
and they
that's
showed off.
hard to believe, honestly. So I
Yeah.
want to see too.
Stay away from
They showed off some video of it today. It wasn't like in the open world, but it was on a battle in like the intro with like Tifa, Sephiroth,
Yeah.
and Cloud, and it looked good. I'm sure the kicker there will be battery life.
Hmm.
But I'm pretty. I don't know. I'll probably end up folding and buying it. The only thing that might prevent me from doing so is I'm going to MagFest like the day after it comes out, so
Right.
it might be a bit foolish.
Man, I think I will be able to get to MagFest next year, but we'll see.
MagFest is so fun.
If I had like a more sponsors earlier in the year, I probably would have gone, as it would have been plenty covered. I've been in the MagFest enough times though to know how much it costs.
Yeah. It is the only con I go to basically all year at this point.
Mhm.
So I just save up. And I
It's
just
great
splurge.
though. It is way larger than when I was going. But I mean, not much you can do about that.
It also helps for me that I'm like a 4-hour drive away.
Right, I am as
But-
well.
But the hotel is just like.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, I meant like getting your hotel, like paying for all that, and then paying for food in the
Yeah.
area. That's where all the money is.
Yep. when you go for Peeps. There was a pizza place around where they had the pizza. It's incredible pizza.
Oh,
I always avoid pizza in the area.
Mom.
Hello, boys.
But maybe I might try to hit that up. Apparently people really like
He's just gonna yell at us
Potbellies
again.
or whatever, that sandwich shop there.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm pretty fond of the Redstone in the area.
Asbel, you mustn't speak so of your father.
And another problem is that if you're not spending like your a lot of money, you're spending a lot of time, because if you go to any of the cheaper places in the area, like the Chipotle, for example,
Yeah.
the line is out the door like
Yeah.
every single time you try to go. So it's like if you're trying to
Can you
just,
keep an eye
you
on her
know,
until we get back?
And then you'll
maximize
be,
your time there,
And then you'll be
go
in
to a
line for the
restaurant.
elevator.
You must
That
forgive
I'm
me.
actually really glad we don't have a room in the Gaylord this year, and honestly, I think it's just going to save us a lot of time, because
You should rest.
if you
You
even
must
if you're on
be
the third
exhausted after
floor,
all that
you're going to be
Asbel
waiting on
went
that
through.
elevator for possibly like 30 minutes
Oh, we've had
just to
well,
like get to it.
we've had occasions in the past where like it was the first year it was large, but our room was on the first floor and we just walked through the stairs. We just took the steps up.
Honestly, fair.
Do you understand?
And that was I was thankful for that, but we have not been that lucky any other time.
I'm fine.
Except for probably the year when COVID started. It was pretty vacant during that year, but it was still held.
I'll play with whoever
Aside
I
from
want.
getting
She can
COVID,
just butt
that's
out.
the kind of population I wish there was for it.
I'm going to have to fight for my life there to not get COVID.
Mm.
Sharia.
Oh dear. You should take her home.
Well,
Frederick.
we're
Come
let's see.
along, Sharia.
I'm sorry.
Because the chat was going for a bit. I was seeing what else is in chat.
Sharia.
Freedom Wars. Freedom Wars Remastered is solid.
We should go see what Dad wants.
Honestly, as much of a
You wanna
Vita
come?
guy as I am,
Yes.
if I had to sacrifice Freedom Wars Remaster on the altar to get a good Graces port, well, sorry, Freedom Wars.
The excuse me. There's a lot of like streaming assets. I think the streaming assets thing was what requires an SSD, and I believe that would help offset CPU, which is kind of necessary these days. So, I just wanted to look around. Sorry, but yeah. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, there are games that say they require an SSD and they work, quote unquote, fine. It's because like when you're out in the overworld, there's not really any load times, though they are still like
Certainly took your time, Asbel.
open world zones.
Who's the girl?
They're just
We met
huge
her
already.
outside town. She seems to have amnesia. She doesn't
Game is this
remember
on
who
or what
she
platform?
is
This is
or
the
where
PC
she's
version.
from.
This is Steam.
Oh,
It's a good
Get over how
PC
good
port.
that port is. It's so good.
well, we can worry
I love
about
it when a
such things
PC port
later.
just works.
I need to
Yeah.
speak with you.
No tinkering.
What is
You
it
start
now?
playing.
No frame pacing
I
issues,
received
just
a letter
works.
from a very important man in the capital.
And a lot of people go, well, it's a
His son is
Wii game,
coming
so
to
of course
visit
it should
London.
just work. And it's like, you are right,
visitor from
but
the
it probably
capital, huh?
took a lot of work
That's rare,
from
isn't it,
Tosei
Dad?
to get this game looking as presentable and nice
This
as it looks
boy
right
is
now.
around the
Right.
same age as you, but you are not
Yeah,
to
because
approach or
even
speak
from
with
like
him.
we were seeing
He
from
hails
Wii
from
to
one of the most
PS3, it was a
powerful
higher render
families in the
resolution, but not
Window
really
Kingdom.
textures. So all the
cannot
up-res
be
textures
seen to
were
show him
not
even
previously
the
up-res in the
slightest
PS3
disrespect.
version. They had to up-res them from
If something
PS3.
to happen, it would be a blight on
Technically,
the
Wii.
one's name.
Yeah,
Do you understand, Asbel?
Why are you just
certainly.
asking
If this
me?
had the
Do you
that would be like what Symphonia.
Yes.
That's a problem with Symphonia for sure.
As
But
for the
here,
girl,
these
I
are
shall hand her
properly
over to the
up-resed.
authorities.
Like if
I'm
we had
confident they
the
will be able to
PS3
find her family.
textures here,
This
this
is the
would look
best thing we can
not
do
good.
for her now.
What? Huh?
This plan should put
Welcome,
your
Gaming
mind at
Glows.
I think
ease.
I'd
Appreciate the
probably be
support.
fine with them, but yeah,
How much
I
do
can.
have, Asbel?
There would be something a bit
You
off.
do?
What is this about, Asbel?
You don't want to go? I don't know.
Appreciate the support. Any
I want to stay with
members,
Asbel.
I do occasional
some sort of
posts
trouble?
behind the scenes. Right now I am
Of
still
course
taking
she
a
isn't.
break, so there's not as much to report on. Just that I am doing streams. But I mean, if you're a
Well, she
member for
cannot
when
stay
I do
here.
get back to videos,
I
yeah,
will
members will
contact
be in the
authorities and make arrangements
post
for her
slates.
transfer.
end slates.
Don't worry.
So I appreciate it.
I can take care of her.
On Patreon and on YouTube.
What?
Both
I can
both of
take
them
care of her.
get the updates
This
and
is
are
foolishness.
in the
I'm
end
serious.
slates.
Do you even understand what you're saying? You are a powerless child who couldn't possibly be entrusted with
I gotta
such
stop being on break as well.
Well, how
So
will
cozy,
you know
though.
if you don't let me
Yeah.
try?
I'm lagging. I will wait for it to fix itself. Okay, it seems fine.
My lord,
Actually,
a
let me see
messenger
what
has arrived concerning
see.
our guest from the capital. Right, send him in. Asbel, we shall continue this conversation later. Until then, stay out of trouble.
Damn it.
Come on, Asbel.
I was also gonna have a plan for the new year as a.
Let's
I'm
go.
really don't
Okay.
want to stick sponsors into the port reviews themselves. The port reviews should be evergreen content. That's how they're designed to be, is evergreen content. The only thing that's really gonna make them out of date would be patches. And in some cases, I think they will reflect like narratives of when a game comes out. For example, I read GameFAQs posts from when Graces came out on PS3. There were a bunch of weirdly upset Nintendo fanboys over it. who
You
couldn't
know what?
even-
That makes sense.
And that's insane because they couldn't even play it.
Family.
It was still in Japanese. There was no patch. What there was a Spanish mod.
Don't worry.
but that's it.
I'm sure you have one.
Moms and dads.
Oh,
that was-
I would
that was
assume that
crazy.
they're mad
To me?
that they didn't
Of
bring the
course,
game
they're your family.
to Wii properly.
How about yours?
Right.
Yeah, they.
No, they were like PS3 version has nothing over it.
I wonder
A
what
little
Mom
new
and Dad
content,
actually
quote
think of
unquote.
me.
Which is like a whole
Sorry, I
new
don't
story
have the
expansion.
Yeah,
answer to
yeah,
the
yeah.
question.
Story,
I
new
wasn't asking
mechanic,
you.
the Excel stuff. It's completely new. Why did I bring that up?
All Dad knows
Oh
how to
yeah,
do is
so
treat me
the
like a
ports are
child.
evergreen.
Can't stand it.
I do want to do
Why
other
are you
types of
running
videos, and
everybody
if I
else
do more sponsors, I would want
Well,
the streams
You're
to
the
be
oldest.
sponsors,
that
and
means you'll be the Lord of
for
Light one day.
videos that are not port reviews could have sponsors.
I'd rather
and in
become
that
a knight in
way-
service of the king.
The port reviews aren't like
The capital has a special
don't
training
have
school for
a
knights.
a
Did you
minute
know
of
that?
sponsors in them. If they're in
I've heard
more
of it,
typically
but Asbel,
expected
Can
types of videos.
you really take care of this girl?
That would be like my compromise, because I think I kind of really depend on it. I think it's gonna be a make or break thing. Is taking in more sponsors.
I don't have a choice.
You say
I
your
have to
stream.
show
It would
Dad
depend
that
on
I'm
how many
not just
releases
some
there are.
useless child.
I don't want to like set myself to
Yes,
on
but-
Twitch, on twitch.tv/gotobedcast. I stream every Wednesday, and then we do every Friday. There's like a fighting game character that comes out. We play fighting games.
Hey, Sharia.
On YouTube, I
better?
don't want
I
to set.
respect the hustle.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a lot of fun. Like that's purely like single digit viewers.
so
That's
did
all
your
for
dad
fun.
decide what to
That's
do
just
with
that's
Miss
really just an
Deidre?
excuse to get everyone together for fighting
I'm
games.
gonna take care of her.
But I am seeing I'm lagging. I will let that go.
Don't shout like that. You'll make yourself
For
sick again.
YouTube, the streams really just are more about when new games come out, new releases come out. Get a look at them.
I just mean I'll be responsible for her until we find out who she is.
What if we never find out?
Went back
I
up.
should stream more. I'll go like a month or so without streaming.
Right.
And yeah, honestly, it's typically like, oh, what new game dropping? Like I did
Well,
one for
then-
Dynasty Warriors.
I'll be
And I was
with
like,
her
all right,
for the
cool,
rest of my life.
back into the
The
back into the
rest of
abyss.
Yeah, because there will be
your- You can't do that. Are you kidding? You just can't.
like I'm thinking of what else is releasing. We'll do Xenoblade X. We'll do a stream for Xenoblade X, especially because I can't
Let it go,
do a
Sharia.
video for
I'll
those.
never change his
I couldn't do a
mind now.
port review unless I'm giving the game like months ahead.
Unbelievable.
So that wouldn't. But day one streams for sure. Yeah, we'll do Rebirth next
And-
week
Hey,
whenever
you
Xenoblade
rest
X
now,
comes
okay?
out.
Don't worry. Everything's
Suikoden?
gonna
And
be
Nintendo is a bit stingy. I don't know if I'd say
But if you're gonna be
stingy,
our
but they have a lot of
friend,
like
we
brand
need to give you a
control
name.
Yeah.
over who gets codes or not.
Yeah.
fine. How about
The
Tiger Festival? festival.
What else is coming out, Jet? I have it written down here.
What kind of a girl would want a stupid name like
Lunar.
that?
Lunar's
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
at the same month as Suikoden,
brother's not
or like a
very
month
good with
after.
names.
Yeah, those will have day one streams.
What do you
Trails in the Sky will whenever that happens. Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
We found her in a meadow,
as well.
right?
Oh god, yeah, that is this
So
year.
maybe we
Yep.
should name her after a flower.
Yeah, it's a packed
Sharia,
year.
what was the name of that flower I gave you?
It's called a
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's some new hairstyles in Xenoblade X.
Sharia.
Some cool little. Xenoblade X is a good platform for throwing those kinds of things in. It might as well just have the hairstyle. It doesn't hurt anything.
I agree.
I hope they add
It's a
some in
good
from
name.
Xenoblade 3. It seems at the moment we've only really seen
your name is
like
Sophie.
Xenoblade
From
2
2.
hairs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Sophie?
Let's see. I have a list of games. Phantom Brave is this month.
Oh, yeah.
Daybreak, Avowed, Monster Hunter,
Well, do you like it or
Lunar, Pokemon, Tillier,
My name
Trails,
is Sophie.
what? Nice to
allegedly
meet you, Sophie.
Vampire the Masquerade. That Bloodlines 2, which I think that game's been in development for like way too long.
Sorry
Yeah,
for the
honestly,
buffering,
that's-
chat.
Sophie, come on.
Smooth out a little. Yeah, as long as they're like relevant to the channel, I'll probably do that. Monster Hunter is going to be on Twitch, but there will be a lot of time in Monster Hunter.
Forgive me, young masters, but did Lord Aston perchance come this way?
He just ran by a second ago. It seems like he was headed out of town. What the heck happened?
Have we only
The
had
titles
cross-platform,
transport
cross-region tales at
containing
the
our
same
young
time
masters
since
long
Arise?
overdue.
I think so. There's been
Lord
none else to
Aston
release.
fears they may have met with tragedy on the road.
The next Tales
I
game
guess
as well.
Yeah, unless you count like
That
remasters,
guest
which
must
has
be
only
the
been
boy
this and
Dad was
Symphonia.
talking about.
Mhm.
We should go take a look for ourselves.
It'll be like that going
Silly.
forward.
What can we do? We'll just get in the way.
That's kind of it for just basically
We won't know for sure
most of
unless
the
we try.
industry at this point.
Yep.
Kids coming
Like,
from the
if
capital,
your
so we
publisher
should
has
head in
money
that direction.
behind it, then you can definitely,
All right, everyone, let's
like,
get this show
pull
on
off
the road.
I don't know, like a simul ship.
I forgot I brought Rita in at the beginning of the stream. Jesus Christ. I forgot. I took that break to come bring her in. I didn't see her. She's hiding behind the bed. Yeah, it's a very fortunate, and it was unimaginable like 5 years ago that Yakuza games would be same day worldwide releases and on PC.
Oh yeah,
It's a
Sega's
beautiful
on
thing.
the ball with that.
Yeah, and they know to be, and Square's getting there now. Square might have some contract stuff in the way, but Square definitely wants to be there.
I'd say Square is. I can't remember the last time one of their games had like a staggered release.
It's just Rebirth.
Oh, with porting, yeah.
This is the road that
Rebirth
the
because
Okay.
of contracts.
capital would use, right?
I was thinking in terms of localization,
This road that
Yeah,
we're
no.
on
worldwide
now is called
release
Eastbound
there,
High
but yeah,
Road.
that's
no, you're
always
right.
there. Yep.
Want with the capital city of
Because
Brown.
they were in,
It was
especially
primarily
larger
used to
projects, they
transport Prius gathered from the
sometimes
water
write them in
region.
English first, like
Ow.
16, 14.
Don't pinch my cheeks. It hurts.
I think she's heard enough, little brother. But you know, Sophie, Sherry's cheeks are great for pinching too.
I think Bandai tries, but they'll probably just like skip Xbox sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like have their games start out on Switch, probably because like a Nintendo contract.
Yeah.
I think Sega kind of just does whatever.
Or if there's a case where Nintendo published for them, like Dragon
What are
Quest
you doing
11.
here? It's dangerous. Stay back.
Relax, we can handle this. All right, just gotta draw one of them this way.
It's coming.
Saga's
for
smart
us.
because like they'll do those like Xbox contracts, but still
Syria,
be able to
take care of
publish
the
everywhere
transport.
else.
Right. Yeah, it usually just be for marketing, like Persona 3.
This way, everyone. Hurry.
Bring it on!
That reminds me, I need to finish Metaphor, which is stuck on my Xbox. I don't think is responsible for me not playing as much.
I was about done, and I need to do that like tomorrow.
I'm in the last month of the game, and I don't have enough free time to dedicate to just binging the end.
Right. I set time aside because I am at a point where every enemy, including bosses, dies in 2 turns, except the final boss. That one did not die in 2 turns, so it's gonna take a little longer. I'll need a little more time because I was trying to break it in on Wednesday. I was trying to break in finishing the game right before streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. There is that's right. The Xbox Showcase soon has a unknown game from a Japanese publisher. Well-known IP. I don't think it's Persona 6. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think
Persona
it's too
6.
Soon.
I think Persona 6 is definitely this year. Atlas is on their like yearly releases now, and they have nothing queued up. But Persona, like not
because the what is it? I guess it would be if it just feels like they just finished because it is 2 different studios between Studio Zero and P Studio.
Sophie. So she remembers something after all?
Feels like it would be still too soon.
Asbel named her
Because there is also a lot of like
I see.
new developers at P Studio. I don't know, to get them like on grip that fast.
Lord Austin.
But I mean, they could have been doing it at the same time as
Is
Reload.
anyone hurt?
yeah, I feel like that's probably the case. I'd be like, we'll see. I don't know what else Atlas really has like that has been officially announced, and we know a new Persona 6 is like a new Persona's in the works.
Yeah.
And it's been long enough since 5, and they got like most of their games remastered. That like I mean
that is true. It has been a good while since 5 came out. Yeah.
Are you all right?
Maybe what they'll do now
Now he's putting on his
is
groveling act.
just focus on ports this year, but that would be a bit underwhelming.
Our visitor, Master Richard, will be staying in the manor's guest
I honestly don't
quarters.
think we'll get P4 remake before P6. I think they'll do like probably do P6 first, and then a little bit after that P4.
Accept any more troublemaking from you. Am I clear?
Yeah,
people
I
are
think that's what they should
fiending.
do. Yeah.
People are hungry. They want P6. Because if they
It's
spend
just-
too much time on these remake projects,
Yeah.
then they're going to like people are gonna be like, these are really cool, but give
Where's
us
the
the
new
next
one?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The though with Persona, it is tricky because this is
Are you okay?
a series with an absurd amount of spin-offs. In addition to spin-offs, it is unusual. It's almost genuinely unusual that at this point Atlas has a stable schedule. Persona 5 was supposed to release in 2013 on PS3. And it did release on PS3,
If Dad
but
finds out, he'll have our heads.
Look, it'll be fine. We're just gonna take a peek. Now,
it was
let's
way
get
later
home
than
and meet
2013.
our new guest.
I just hope that like if like maybe one of the things they're waiting for with Persona 6 is just Nintendo to get that Switch 2 out, because it would be
Maybe.
silly if it was not a Switch 2 game as well.
There's gonna be a lot of. I was thinking of this too with the new hardware. Sorry, I'm still like delayed. But the with the new hardware, Nintendo games will probably still be playable on both Switches, but that Persona 3 Reload is gonna come out and it's only gonna be compatible on Switch too. Like third parties are gonna have way more exclusives for that thing.
Amazing, Sophie. Where'd you learn that? Where? I wonder.
I think we'll still have like remasters or even like smaller scale games come out on Switch, because that's just free money, especially if like Switch 2 isn't an immediately like massive seller,
Right.
or like they just don't have enough of them to get out to people. It's the same thing with like PS5, where they publishers realized like kind of early this gen, like, oh no, we still have to make PS4 games so people buy them.
Yep.
And yeah, for the people who just can't afford to buy a new system, because like shit's rough, economy's like fucked. So who like it's just smart, but I don't know if Persona 6 will be on launch like a Switch game. I honestly doubt it. I think Metaphor shows us that as well, where they're just like, no, we don't have the resources to put in making such a downgraded version of this.
Right.
Metaphor is probably coming to Switch too, though.
Yeah. I would expect it. That Metaphor is so, like, rough. Do I just need it? Yeah, no, okay, cool. That's why I would be excited for when Metaphor gets its updated version, and it's just, the field textures. It's mostly the field textures are garbage. Those would be nice to have look better.
Because they said they want to avoid doing that, like, expanded re-release anymore, and honestly, it's probably overly optimistic, but I want to take them at their word for that.
Right.
I hope that the most Metaphor would get would be just like a, I don't know, like a update or something to clean up like visuals if they do that.
I do see room though for where they could put new stuff and also potentially rebalance it, which would be fair because it's their first time doing this ambitious stuff with combat. It's the most they mix things up. So there are definitely some underrated characters because they can't compete with some of the higher damage you could do with others, even despite, like, just depending on their stat growth, I guess. But also, like, the other classes they get.
Who's there?
Yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised because there is room for more stuff.
I would just hope that they're smart enough to know now to just put out like an expansion,
right?
Like a DLC expansion. Like you can bundle that all up with like the Switch port, but just offer that to other users.
Yeah,
I don't
edition.
think we're getting like another. Yeah, I don't think we're getting another like Vengeance style re-release again. And on that, like, while I don't think they should have delisted the original, I get like that why they did an expanded re-release for that, because again, Switch game. And that was a game that got absolutely like fucked by COVID.
Yeah.
You could tell by playing it.
Yep.
But again, we'll have to see.
Don't you want to have fun? I told you to leave.
That's where it feels like, yeah, there was a scope of ambition with SMT5 that they didn't get to realize until Vengeance.
You're only pretending to like me.
Some of that with Metaphor, but not as much. This lag is annoying. At least it doesn't, like, the bit rate isn't totally dropping, but goddamn, it's annoying.
Or when they...
Master Richard.
Bryce.
It is time for your daily sword training. Please, ready your equipment.
Not today.
Yeah, but Capcom and Atlas are different. Different companies, so who, honestly, again, who knows? I have a policy of not like
weakening your skills.
Trying to doom
Are you Lord Aston's son?
before, like, you know,
These matters are no business
like
of yours.
we have proof, and I'll get mad then.
Yeah, well, with Capcom, they're for sure not doing that again. There was no, it would have benefited from like a. Oh no, DMC5 didn't have that either. Yeah, yeah, I can't see Capcom doing it now anymore.
All right, very well then.
So it does sort of change how they handle G rank, but that's whatever.
I will be waiting for you in the garden.
I enjoy the
honestly,
expansions.
like, chat, I'm not even saying free upgrades. I'm saying like an expansion.
Yeah. Granted, episode Igus was already $30. Hi, Rita.
And honestly, like with that, just like sell, like if you're going to make new content, obviously, I'm not saying like give it to everyone for free, but like just make a little like expansion.
Because it
downloadable
like,
thing.
It depends on the scale or scope. Because if they want to introduce all of new mechanics, which could or introduce a new confidant or new social link, which could happen in Metaphor, then they have to. Well, in Metaphor, doesn't have to worry about this. Then they got to readjust all the personas and what arcanas they're under. There's a lot that naturally comes with that rebalance, though in that case that wouldn't happen in Metaphor. At least there would be no reason to reword things just because of adding more social link, more bonds. Metaphor wouldn't have that struggle.
Oh, hey, Wachang. What's up? It's been a while.
The forgot where I was going with that. Let me read chat back.
We will have to see if Atlas is over their era of doing an Atlas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like it's annoying with Royal, but after I like was going into it and tallying everything they did and how like they added new mechanics or reworked them to be more important.
It would be shameful
It was
for a
like
knight to do so.
this would be a lot harder to sell as a upgrade because it's so mechanic. It changes the mechanics of the base game still.
Yeah.
With
Metaphor,
and then it
I
made
like
changes to like dungeons and stuff too, like the will
Metaphor.
seeds.
I'm kind of like, just give me a new dungeon, or like give me like a new area, like make an epilogue. I don't know, like.
Because they like
Did the little knight fall
that
down?
would those kinds of things would also mean your save files couldn't be brought over or even like continued. If you got halfway through Persona 5 and then you bought Royal DLC, if you're in the middle of a dungeon, it's gonna literally change the layout of a dungeon.
What?
Like if it's to the extreme of Royal, that scale is a lot harder to do as DLC because of the intricate stuff they do. But if it's to a scale like Episode Igus, that's a lot easier to manage.
Real knights are strong.
And yeah, honestly, like if they do like future expansions like that, I just try to find a way to fit it in all into that. And I think the main thing that they need to worry about there is just like scope creep and not letting themselves like make games with like that end up compromised like that. There's a spot in the end of Metaphor where I'm like, okay, it feels like a whole month was kind of cut out of this.
Yeah.
But like honestly, I don't know if Metaphor needs more stuff. I hope that if it comes to Switch 2, it's just the game.
If a fellow knight agrees to train you, they deserve your thanks. Even I know that.
Yeah, we don't get third versions of Pokemon games anymore.
Yes, sir. More than
and even the last like re-releases, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, didn't go over well anyway. They weren't received very well and they sold poorly. But that's fine because the DLCs for the last two Pokemon gens were great.
You should be ashamed, Bryce. There's no.
Those are some of the highlights, especially for Scarlet and Violet. That DLC is the highlight of it.
Apologize, sir.
It's fantastic.
I will take over Master Richard's training from this point forward. You may join the other guards inside.
I understand, sir.
Business perspective, if a game sells well, why lower price? So it can sell even better. Because then you have a bunch of people who didn't want to pay that full price or was not able to.
That was amazing, Asbel.
Just, buy it. Nintendo's an enigma. I think they've started to like putting some of their games on PC.
Or on sale.
On sale. Blah.
Well, when they get to the they do it at the end of gens when they get to the Nintendo Selects, like those re-releases or reprints are cheaper. Yeah. That's when the prices go down.
Well, since the lesson
also, this remaster runs substantially better than Symphonia. You can get this running at 120 FPS with like very little issue.
Yeah.
But it's almost sundown.
Yeah, there hasn't been as much to talk about just because the port is so functional.
Yeah.
Just play dumb if Dad asks about us, okay?
Nothing to point and laugh at. It's just, oh, look, it's Grace's. It's a good game.
I'm sure we could. There's a point. I think there is a point where you could get granular with it, but it's stuff that has to be like pointed out, and it has to be like carefully compared between the two. Like the grass there looks upscaled. That's about it.
All right, guys.
Looks AI upscaled, or the artifacting of AI upscaling shows more there. That's about it.
Oh, I can kind of see it, yeah.
And because I pointed out how the rocks look and the streaks the rocks have, they don't have that on Wii. That's bothering me. But yeah, you have to look and know about those things to see them. Otherwise, it looks, and this is still leaps and bounds beyond Symphonia and even Vesperia in terms of port quality. And yeah, it runs very well.
Heads up, I think about like 5 to 10 minute warning for me.
Yeah, that'll be about when the stream ends anyway. Especially because I'm just frustrated with the internet issues.
I gotta go get Chinese food and then eat dinner with my girlfriend. So
Right. Work out. Yeah, Tosei does good stuff. What else has Tosei done recently? Because I'm pretty sure I've done stuff they've done, released.
Let me look it up.
But I can't remember off the top of my head what else Tosei has done. Yeah,
I know
version was Japanese only.
I know they've worked on a lot of Dragon Quest games.
Oh yes, yep.
I think they have a really long list of games.
Yeah.
I think in more recent years they just mostly do ports.
Right. Well, I mean they're a good team for it, so that works out. There was questions we answered, but going back to them. Switch 2 thoughts. If that's actually a little, you're just gonna have to watch the VOD back and pick it up from there. Sorry.
Excited.
Yeah, I have. Actually, I didn't say this. I have a whole backlog of Switch games I didn't even like. I got like even partway through or didn't even start that I've been waiting on updated Switch hardware to play. Like all the Xenoblade expansions, I will play those on new hardware. Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Legends Arceus, I will finish those on new hardware. So I'm excited for those. And if they don't have those benefits, I would be disappointed.
I will say though, I've been watching some of the footage from Xenoblade 2. It was Xenoblade X that's just running on Switch, presumably.
Yeah, really impressive.
That port looks really good, and it seems like I won't have to worry too much about waiting.
I completely doubted that it was possible to get Xenoblade X on Switch, but I leave it to Monolith to fucking figure it out. Of course.
Yeah, it was the smartest thing ever for Nintendo to just acquire Monolith like that, because it has helped them out tremendously this gen.
Yep. Invaluable. Also the personal. We also covered personal Tales games. Mine would be Vesperia. This is room to be better than Vesperia, but right now its favorites Vesperia. Symphonia below that, and Arise below that. And then I would need to play more games in the series to have a more in-depth list.
You gotta check out Abyss whenever they get around to remastering that.
Right.
It's so good.
Yep, I will do my best to stay up to date on them now as I can. That was sick. And now I was saying, if they do any of the Tales games like around the PS1 era or so, just emulate them.
As soon as like I'm done with this one, I think I'm back in like a Tales mood. I'm just gonna check out all like the ones I missed. Like give Zestiria another shot. Berseria. Although I might go immediately into that PS2 version of Destiny, the director's cut, because that's pretty impressive. And like, I kind of just want to follow the studio that made this one in particular,
right?
Because they have a completely different philosophy for like combat design that I think you'll notice the further you get into this. That just is really admirable,
right?
Yep, pretty impressive, huh?
But I think I will have to probably call it here just so I can get everything ready to head out. But
sure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being on.
It. Yeah, of course. Hopefully your internet is cured. If it starts working right after I leave, that would be very funny.
Yeah, here's hoping.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
And bye, chat.
Searching for you, my prince.
Righty.
I am most disappointed that
we'll keep going for a little bit. If anyone was curious, because we've been talking the whole time, my personal playthrough will be just restarting anyway. At this point.
This makes things much easier for me.
But yeah, also like I said, we'll do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth next
today's lesson was over.
Next week.
This is no lesson, boy.
And here's hoping the internet's better.
This is a duel to the death. To poor Richard's death, in fact.
What?
Played them all on real hardware. I'm pretty sure I got a handful set up.
Your life is mine.
I got a bunch ready to go.
Richard, get back! Hostiles!
Oh no, a real fight. Man, that feels good. No, I can see it. I will need healing though, thank you. No, they were cooking, I get it. I'm gonna turn the game up in a second too, since it's just me. But the game is a little low now. Okay, I can do that now. Yeah, in the remaster of Xenoblade X, yeah, the text is definitely a lot larger. Very much appreciated. And also necessary for handheldness. Whoops. Was there a wrong way to sidestep like Tekken? I swipe. I may have just had the timing wrong. Yeah, does this game have wrong ways to sidestep? Oh, never mind. I think that was timing. Anyway.
Man, that was a rough one.
Mechanically, that's already over Vesperia. Yeah, I could see the appeal. I'm very excited to get into this game.
Okay,
yep, this game is out now, aside from if you ordered physical.
Where's Richard?
We don't know Switch 1 games will have enhancements, but surely they will, right?
Richard, be careful!
Right?
The cliff!
I hope so.
The cliff?
I assume they do, because again, if you throw those games in a Switch emulator, they are already higher resolution, stay higher resolution, and then stay more consistent in frame rate. Like, if the emulator's doing
Richard,
that,
give me your other hand.
you know, I would expect it there.
What's going on? What's this warm light all around me?
To go Switch version on this. Yeah, we were noting at the beginning of the stream, Switch version is 30 FPS. All the others are 60. A PC version goes up to 120.
Huh?
Yeah, Switch is 30. But I mean, Switch 2 might bump it to 60. So.
Wait, we fell off the cliff! Sophie, are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm fine.
Nintendo different than the rest of the industry.
Goodness.
They just established
Richard?
themselves
Is
so
Richard okay too?
separately. It would require this perspective of when there was such a massive difference between
Richard!
what Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo were doing. That was 20 years ago.
He wasn't
Nintendo
hurt.
said Microsoft and Sony are not
Really?
our competition.
Okay, good.
That is how they
That's
treated
good.
it from like the Wii era on. They did not.
You look
Their
happy,
philosophy was
Asbel.
not to have them
Why
be
are you
competition.
happy?
They
I'm
established
happy
their
because
own
you and
lane.
Richard are alive.
They put as little crossover between
Because we're
Microsoft and Sony. And establishing that has had such ramifications as
we
to
fell
why
off
they're
the
so
cliff.
different
I think the
and
sun
stand
went
out.
down while
Why
we were
they
knocked
don't
out.
benefit from or like they don't have to worry
you
about
okay,
releasing
Richard?
games on
Anything broken or anything?
PC, for example. Like, we're probably never going to get Nintendo games on PC because it won't be as necessary for them as it is for everyone else.
No,
Wii was
I
60.
think I'm fine.
Wii version of this was 60. It wasn't
Can't
perfect
believe
60.
We fell off a cliff and
It,
no one got
it was
hurt.
uncapped up to 60 though, and it maintained it very well. Same on PS3.
Your name
It maintained
is
that very
Asbel,
well.
yes? I owe you my life. Please.
But yeah,
take
this is Steam version.
Why are you giving me your ring? I owe you a great debt. This is the least I can do. No way. No, I won't take it.
Lip sync.
But I didn't save you for money or power or because you're some
Thank you,
dumb
Fall. I
prince.
appreciate it.
I did it for... Oh, never mind.
I still have them set up here on the side on my capture card. We'll look at them again for anyone that has joined since then. At the beginning of the stream, we looked at one cutscene. I brought up one cutscene from the Wii and PS3 versions to compare, and we did that. That's in the VOD.
We should go back.
I didn't want that to be the whole stream, though.
Yeah, we should, but I'm not really sure how. I guess we just have to climb.
Skits don't autoplay without auto text in the remaster.
Sophie?
I would have
Richard?
noticed that they didn't because I
think it's time for a
immediately
little
turn
hike.
on auto text, so that's good to
If
know.
monsters come, we fight together. That's the only way we'll beat them.
That's like what Colin was mentioning with the new
Yes,
marker
of
on the
course.
map,
All right,
showing
let's go.
to some timed moments, which would be more beneficial, but you can't separate what it gives you notifications for. I am screenshotting the comment and putting it down, so I don't have to search for it later. There. Not having internet issues. Yeah, it seems cleared up now. It comes and goes. It's so frustrating. We'll call it here, but yeah, let me show you the Wii and PS3 versions one last time. So, let me where's the remote? Here it is. These aren't at the same spot here. They're back earlier in town. And the one thing I was pointing out here is looking at the rocks. So what I was saying is on Wii, it's 480p, the render resolution. And the main visual difference, we're talking about visuals, that's all I can go over for today. This is Wii, this is PS3, who I'm swapping to. The main difference visually is Wii is 480p, this is 720p. Render resolution. Not texture resolution. I've noticed quite a number of textures in the PS3 version were not up-resed, or at least not up-resed properly, if at all. And I was noticing, yeah, there's streaks on the rocks there, and then, like, again, this isn't a huge deal that it's not unplayable because of the fucking rocks. It's just that gives an idea as to what to look out for. Yeah, game is out already. It is out on Steam, and such. To my understanding, it's also on consoles. Pretty sure PS3 had 30 world, 60 battles. Nope, it's all 60. PS3. Wait, hold on. I think you're right. I think it just had good pacing. Let's go back again. If that's 30, that's really good frame pacing. Wait, let me look at my monitor. So when I've been playing the reason I'm struggling with this is because I'm playing the remaster, and the remaster goes up to 120. So that's what I'm focused on, is seeing the 120. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's smooth. But yeah, like we were saying, it's uncapped technically, or it goes up to 60 on the other platforms. It goes up to 60, but it does maintain it. But the combat in the other versions, combat at least, for sure, on Wii and PS3 is in fact 60. Up to 60. Time of testing back then, if you force it to 60, battles are smooth, overworld was goofy. Huh. I will keep that in mind then. Because it's so smooth, even for 30. It's really good frame pacing. And this is also a very good PC port. Yeah, let me call it there. I'm getting tired from talking for 2 hours straight and covering so much. I have had very little focus on the game, and I want to personally enjoy this game. Again, I'm still on break from anything editing-wise, you know? I might have videos, but they would take if I have any videos up, That would be a fraction of the work that any port review takes, so it won't be that long. But yeah, I'm excited to dig into this game. Let's see. What else was I gonna mention? We still have port reviews to do, but they will again be in time. I need to take time and relax first. But again, if I do anything, it would probably be for sponsorship reasons, and that means it would be for financial reasons, because I would still have to have that sort. You know, taking a break doesn't give away financial responsibilities. But for port reviews, yeah, those will take a break for now. Not terribly long, God hoping. But yeah. Yeah, that's right. There is all the DLC content is here except the licensed stuff, which Vesperia had a mod for its licensed DLC, so it may be the same case here. Yeah. Is it worth it? Hold on. Actually, one more thing. The game was, when I bought it, it was $33 on Fanatical. Is there anywhere that still has this game on sale? Let me see here. Tales of Graces Remastered. The game is $34 still on Fanatical, Win Game Store, Game Belay. These aren't gray sites. These aren't gray markets. These are actual storefronts just selling it for that much. So like what? Oh, it's $40 on Steam. Yeah, so you can save a couple bucks if you get it on like Fanatical. That deal there, I think, would also outweigh getting it on Switch if there's a choice between that. Also, it runs fine on Steam Deck, but there is a you do have to force the game to 720p for the 16:9. It's really only supporting 16:9 correctly. Any plans to talk about East games? Yeah, in time. Not now, but I do want to get into the East games as well. Some earlier ones, because those probably wouldn't take as long. But yeah, we will be doing our best to get into those series. I've been doing research on a lot of very obscure JRPGs as well to do any sort of video on. Digging up some really like obscure gems. If it is something, I'm gonna find it. But that will be in time. So plenty of plans going forward. But yeah, for as far as my expectations are, like if this was Vesperia, many people telling me how much better this is than Vesperia. I love Vesperia. That would have already been worth the price. And you're telling me we got a game here that's better than that. This is like when people praise Graces because it's like the peak of combat for the series. That's a high bar. That is setting a high bar for the other games, and so far the foundation for that being true is present. So, yeah, I've been going on long enough. I'm glad the internet troubles subsided a little bit, but yeah, and we'll be back for plenty more. We'll be back next weekend for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC version. So maybe Steam Deck version as well if we can get it to run there. But that is like 200 gigabytes. So yeah, all right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And, oh, glad the camera wasn't there. And until next time, thank you all for the continued support. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.